Good evening, everyone. The similarities of Republic Act 9344 and Juvenile Delinquency and Prevention Act from United States of the America. So it focused on the rehabilitation that both laws prioritize the rehabilitation and reintegration of children in conflict with the law over punitive measures. Program aims to prevent that recidivism and help youth become productive members of the society. So it emphasizes on rights protection that both acts align with international standards such as the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child, ensuring the protection of children's rights. In the community-based intervention that both encourage community-based programs as alternative to detention, such as counseling, mentorship, and skills training. This reduces the stigma and negative effects of incarceration. The institutionalization of juveniles that both discourage the institutionalization of children unless absolutely necessary. The United States Act prohibits juveniles from being housed in adults' jails, similar to the Protective Preventions and Republic Act 9344. The minimum age of criminal responsibility is both acts establish a minimum age of criminal responsibility. Republic Act 9344 initially set at 15 years old, with those aged 12 to 15 held responsible only for serious crimes. Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act varies states but often include a minimum age diversion programs. That both laws promote diversion programs to keep juveniles out of formal judicial proceedings, encourage community-based interventions. Separate facilities of juveniles. Both prohibit the detention of juveniles and in adult facilities to prevent exposure to hardened criminals. Parental and community involvement. Both recognize the role of parents, guardians, and community in addressing juvenile delinquency and rehabilitation. Prevention of recidivism. Both focus on reducing repeat offenses through counseling, education, and skill-building programs. So the differences of Republic Act 9344 and Juvenile Delinquency and Prevention Act from United States of America. The implementation and scope of Republic Act 9344 applies nationwide in the Philippines and involve local government units, LGUs, for implementation relying heavily on barangay councils for the protection of children. In Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act, a federal law applicable across the United States but works on coordination with the state-specific juvenile justice systems, offering states financial incentives to comply with its mandates. In age of criminal responsibility, according to Republic Act 9344, the MACR is 15 with interventions for those 12 to 15 who commit serious crimes. Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act, the MACR varies by the state, with some states setting it as low or 6 to 7 truly federal funded programs often recommended high ages. Detention practices, according to Republic Act 9344, strongly prohibits detention of CICL and mandates the establish of Bahay Pag-asa temporary youth rehabilitation centers. In Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act, implementing the deinstitutionalization of status offenders DSO provisions, ensuring that juveniles are not incarcerated for offenses that would be crimes if committed by the adults. For example, truancy, curfew, and violations. Focus on offender status. Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act specially addresses status of first minor committing non-criminal acts due to age and ensure they are treated differently from juveniles committing an actual crime. Republic Act 9344 does not explicitly focus on status offenders but broadly addresses all CICN, cultural and legal contexts. Republic Act 9344 reflects that Philippine culture of familiar and community-based support and relies on the barangay justice system. Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act emphasizes federal and state collaboration with a more structured judicial and correctional system. Monitoring and funding. Republic Act 9344 funding is sourced locally with an even implementation across regions. In Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act provides an federal grants for compliance and encouraging uniformity and adherence to goals.